Hey guys, this is your Chapter 2, Section 2 and 3 video for solving one-step and multi-step equations. Go ahead and pause the video and start working on your bell ringer. Whenever you're complete, unpause the video to get these solutions. So the first question asks, what does it mean for two things to be equal? When two things are equal, they have the same value and it also means that they are balanced. So if something is equal, that means they are balanced and they have the same value. The next question asks us, if I want to add something to one side of an equation, what else do I have to do to it? Well, if we were dealing with an equation, then that means we have to keep it balanced. We have to keep it the same on both sides. So if I add something to one side, I had better add it to the other side as well. So I have to add it to both sides. And the last question says, what other operations are we allowed to use to solve equations? Well, we can use multiplication, division, and also subtraction. So that gets us started with learning how to solve our equations. And we know that we are allowed to add, subtract, multiply, and divide both sides of an equation in order to solve it. So we can add, subtract, multiply, divide both sides of an equation to solve it. To solve an equation, we use the inverse operation of what is happening to the variable. So let's take a look at our first example. 113 is equal to g minus 25. Well, if you notice, we are subtracting 25 from g. So in order to solve the equation, we have to use the inverse operation. The inverse operation of subtraction is addition. So we are going to add 25 to both sides of my equation. Remember, we have to do it to both sides in order to keep this equation balanced. If we look on our right side, we have a minus 25 and a plus 25. Those cancel out, so they're gone because negative 25 plus 25 is 0. So we're left with a g on the right side. And on the left side, we have 113 plus 25. Well, that's 138. So my solution is g equals 138. Now, let's check really quick to make sure that's correct. We can always check these equations by substituting our value for g, what we got for g, back into our equation. So if I want to check, I can take 113, and I'm going to find out if it is equal to 138 minus 25. So 113 should be equal to that, and 138 minus 25 is 113. That is correct. So my solution is 138 is equal to g, and I know I'm right, so that means I get a mathematical smile because we know we are right. The next example, 63 plus m is equal to 79. This time we are getting added onto m. The 63 is positive, so we are adding it onto m. So to undo the addition of 63, use the inverse operation of subtracting 63 from both sides of my equation. Well, 63 minus 63 is 0, so those cancel out. We're left with an m. And that is equal to 79 minus 63, which is 16. Again, check it real quick. I'm going to find out if 63 plus 16 is equal to 79. I don't know if that's equal yet. 63 plus 16 is 79, and that is equal to 79. So we are right. My solution is m equals 16. We know we're 100% correct, so we get a mathematical smile. The next example, 39 is equal to negative 3r. Remember, right here, we have the operation of multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we divide. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. On the right side, we have negative 3 divided by negative 3. That is just 1, so I can cancel those out. So 39 divided by negative 3 is negative 13. And we're just left with an r on the left side, so r is equal to negative 13. Again, we can check it, find out if 39 is equal to negative 3 times negative 13. So we have 39. I don't know if this is equal yet. Negative 3 times negative 13 is 39. So it checks out. We're good. My solution is negative 13 is equal to r. R equals negative 13. I know I'm right, so I get a mathematical smile. Last but not least, I have a divided by 6 is equal to negative 9. Now this time I have to get rid of division. We have division right here. To undo division, I multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. On the left side here, if I multiply 6 by a over 6, I get 6a over 6. And that means I just have a 6 divided by 6. So those are going to end up canceling out anyway. So from now on, you can just take these 6's and cancel them out because they will end up equaling 1. And I know that is going to be equal to negative 9 times 6, which is negative 54. So checking that really quick, negative 54 divided by 6, I'm going to find out if that is equal to negative 9. Negative 54 divided by 6 is negative 9. Since negative 9 is equal to negative 9, we check out. My solution is a equals negative 54. I know I'm 100% correct, so I get a mathematical smile. So go ahead, work on the huddle, pause this video, work through each of the problems. When you're ready for the solutions, unpause the video. So here are the solutions. The first one, the solution is W equals 9 over 8. The second one is H equals negative 6. And the third, M is equal to negative 5. So let's take a look at this equation. 11x minus 4 is equal to 29. And we have to look at what's different about this equation. And if you take a look at it, all of our equations before have looked like either 11x equals 29 or like x divided by 11 equals 29, stuff like that. But this time we have 11x minus 4 equals 29. So we have this extra operation of negative 4 equals 29. So we can say that the term with the variable is not alone. So the term with the variable is not alone. Now, what can we do to make this look like the previous equation? Well, to have it look like the previous equation, we would have to get rid of this negative 4. So to get rid of that negative 4, we have to think, what can I do to my equation to get rid of that negative 4? Or what can I add to it or subtract from it or divide? Well, if we take a look, we know that if I add 4 to the left side of my equation, I know that they will cancel out. However, I have two sides of my equation. And we talked about earlier that we have to, if we add something on one side of the equation, I have to do it to the other side of the equation in order to maintain equality. So I have to add 4 to that side, to the other side as well. Again, these cancel out. Now I have 11x equals 29 plus 4, which is 33. And now I have an equation. I know how to solve this. That looks like what we know how to solve. That's just divide by 11. I'm done. So to make it look like the previous equation, we got rid of the -4 by adding 4 to both sides. However, sometimes we look at equations and we're not really sure what to do first. So we ask ourselves, how do we know what to do first when solving equations? And to answer that question, let's answer these next two questions. So when evaluating, what order do we do things in? So if I had something like 3 times 2 minus 5 squared divided by 14. If I had something like that, what order would I do it in? Or how do I know what order I would do it in? Well, I would use my order of operations. Or in other words, my PEMDAS. We would use our order of operations to solve that. Or not, I'm sorry, to evaluate that. So since solving is undoing what happens to a variable, so we're, instead of evaluating, we're solving, we're going backwards, we're undoing, what should we use to solve equations? If order of operations uses PEMDAS forward, when we're solving, we're undoing what is happening to the variable, we will use the order of operations backwards. So we will use the reverse order of operations. So we'll use the reverse order of operations. So to solve multi-step equations, use the reverse order of operations. So use the reverse order of operations to undo what is happening to the variable. So the normal order of operations is PEMDAS. So the reverse would be SADMAP. So our subtraction, addition first, then division and multiplication, then our exponents, and then our parentheses or grouping symbols. So we use SADMAP. I had a student last year say that Silly and Diana made extra pancakes. That's how he remembered it. However you want to remember it, that's good. So let's go ahead and look at this equation. We have a plus 7 divided by 8 is equal to 5. Now, remember when we talked about grouping symbols, this division bar is a grouping symbol. So that means that a plus 7 is grouped together in parentheses. And since our parentheses come last in our reverse order of operations right there, we're going to do that very, very last. So that means we need to take care of this 8 first. So that is a division of 8. Well, we get rid of division by multiplication, so I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 8. On the left side, the 8's cancel out. They're equal to 1. I'm left with a plus 7 equals 5 times 8, which is 40. And I know how to do this. This is easy. This is a one-stepper now. Subtract 7 from both sides. 7's on the left, cancel out. And a is equal to 33. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we can check this real quick. Substituting a positive 33 into my equation. So I have 33 plus 7 over 8. I'm going to find out if that is equal to 5. 33 plus 7 is 40. So I'm finding out if 40 over 8 is equal to 5. 40 over 8 is 5. So 5 is equal to 5. We're good. My solution is A is equal to 33. So go ahead, pause the video, work through these huddle problems. When you're ready for the solutions, unpause the video. So solution to the first equation was p equals 16. Now, a key in this one is this step right here. Whenever you're dividing by 7/8, remember, dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal, 8/7 here. And then you just simplify the fraction, and you get p equals 16. The second one, d is equal to 236. And the very last one is x equals 31 over 7. You might have converted this into a decimal, and that's fine. I prefer the solution 31 over 7, but if you put it as x equals or approximately equal to 4.43, that is also correct, but personally I prefer the 31 over 7. So here we have a word problem. We're dealing with retail. A music store has sold 3/5 of their hip-hop CDs, but 10 were returned. Now the store has 62 hip-hop CDs, and how many were there originally? So go ahead and pause the video, write an equation and solve it, and then unpause it whenever you're ready for the solution. So what we're trying to find here is how many CDs were there originally. That's what we're trying to find. So that's what is unknown. So we're going to define a variable. X is equal to the original amount of CDs, specifically hip-hop CDs. So X is the original amount of CDs. So that's what we start with. We start with X. Then the store sold 3/5 of the CDs. So that looks like 3/5 times X, that's 3/5 of X, and since they sold it, that it gets taken away from the original amount. But after that, 10 were returned, so the store got back 10, so it is plus 10. And after that's all done, the store had 62, so this is equal to 62. So now we have an equation, we just need to solve it. But let's do a little simplifying first. We can take an x and a negative 3/5 x, simplify it. So x minus 3/5 x, that's the same thing as 5 over 5x minus 3 over 5x plus 10 equals 62. So 5/5 x minus 3/5 x is the same as 2/5 x plus 10 equals 62. Got to get rid of this 10 here, so I will subtract 10 from both sides. 10's on the left cancel out, so I'm left with 2/5 x is equal to 52. I have to divide by 2/5, but we know divided by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal of 5/2. The 5's cancel out, the 2's cancel out, so we're left with just x, and that is equal to 260 over 2, and 260 divided by 2 is 130. So the store started with 130 CDs. So go ahead, finish up the lesson with this mastery, solve this equation, pause the video, and when you're ready for the solution, unpause the video. So your solution is n equals 20. Now, if you had a hard time figuring out what to do first in this one, this is a perfect example where you can use the reverse order of operations. You can use your SADMAP. This is an excellent problem for that. Start with getting rid of your addition and subtraction. That's why we got rid of this 8 right here first by subtracting 8 rather. Then after that, we look at our division and multiplication. So since this 3n is grouped together, we get rid of the 12 first by multiplying, and then finished up by getting rid of 3, dividing by 3 on both sides. So go ahead, get your homework from the board. If there's time left in class, you may work on it. If not, it is due in class tomorrow. Have a good day, guys.